I'll bet you found this video because your parents won't let you play video games. I'm a psychologist and I know a little bit about parent psychology. Let's crack this. I've got 3 tips for you today about how to handle this video game issue with your parents, but first you got to understand a little bit of parent psychology. You need to know how they think, because sometimes it doesn't feel like they are thinking. They're just reacting and trying to control you, right? Well, when you understand parent psychology, you'll be able to work with your parents in a way that will have them working with you a little better. See, parents aren't that hard to figure out. First of all, let's start with this. Your parents love you. Now, you might want to argue with me about that, but they do. I know parents, and even parents that don't know what they're doing in terms of limits and rules still love their kids. They're just trying to figure out how to do the best job they can as parents. And because your parents love you, there is one thing that they want for you above everything else. Do you know what it is? Think about this. The one thing they want for you is for you to be happy. Aw, isn't that nice? It's true. That's all they want. And because they want you to be happy, they've got all kinds of ideas about how that's going to happen. And they watch you to see if you're making choices that are going to lead you into happiness or lead you into prison. Right? I know that's an exaggeration, but sometimes, right? So, understanding that, your parents need to understand that you are making good choices that will lead you to happiness. Now, happiness and fun are not the same thing, so it doesn't count that you're having fun playing video games. They need to know that you're doing the kinds of things that will make your life happy and productive. So that leads me to the 3 tips that I wanted to share with you. Tip number 1 is to understand opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is whatever any opportunity is going to cost you, and what opportunities you will lose as a result of choosing one or the other. Here's an example. If you go to the store with $20 and you spend that $20 on a new game, what don't you get to spend that $20 on? Anything else you could have bought with the $20. So the other things you could have bought with the $20 represent the opportunity cost of spending it on that game. Now, in a similar way, how we spend our time means that we don't get to spend it on something else. I'm guessing your parents probably aren't too concerned about the games you're playing. If they are, maybe that's another conversation. But most games are okay. They're not bad. You can't really make that argument with your parents because they already know it's not a bad game. What they're concerned about is all of that other stuff that you're not doing while you're over there playing your game. You tracking this? The opportunity cost. So they might be thinking, oh, as long as he's playing that game, he's not doing his homework. Do you see? That's the opportunity cost. As long as he's playing that game, he's not working to earn some money. Opportunity cost. This is important because it's how parents think. So give a little thought for a moment to the opportunity cost of you playing video games. That's important for you personally, but also it's going to help you to deal with your parents. Okay, here's tip number 2, and this one is huge for parents. Sometimes they feel like they have to control you because you don't control you, right? They want to put limits on the game. Why? Because you're not putting limits on the game. Learn to self-limit. This is a maturity factor. It actually tells your parents that you're more mature if you put the limits on it. So just try this. What if the next time you're playing the game, You actually have a kitchen timer sitting right there by your computer. And the kitchen timer is counting down for some reasonable amount of time. Let's say, start with a half hour, okay? I know nobody plays a game for just a half hour, but what if you did? What if you set a little timer right by your computer, half hour? When it goes ding, or when the alarm goes off, you turn off the game. I know, you probably don't want to cut the game off after a half hour, but here's the thing. If your parents see you doing that, they're not going to feel like they have to put the limits on the game. It's parent psychology. Okay, let's go to the third tip, because this one affects the other two as well. Communicate. You got a mouth, right? You know the language, right? Talk to your parents. Let them know that you're on it. If you're on it, they don't have to be. This is the best way I know to get your parents to back off of anything. You show them that you're on it and communicate that. So like the other two things that I shared with you, opportunity cost. I can just see this now. You sit down to dinner with your parents and you bring up, hey, Mom, Dad, I've been thinking about the opportunity costs involved with playing that game, and I'm a little concerned. Okay, first of all, you're probably going to have to revive your parents right about then, because they're not expecting this. But it's going to blow them away that you know something about opportunity cost. And they're going to think you're more mature. And if they think you're more mature, they're going to back off and not be quite so controlling. This is brilliant. What about the second one that I shared with you? Learning to self-limit. You might say, you know what, Mom? I put a limit on that game today, cut it off after a half hour, and it was hard, but I kind of like the way that I felt being able to just turn it off right then. Still had fun. Who talks like this? Well, I'll tell you what. People who don't have to worry about their parents controlling their behavior talk like this. I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, you can share it with your buddies. If you need help with your parents, send them to me. I've worked with a lot of parents. There's a website called parentingpowerup.com. You can link to it right over there or down in the description. And if you send your parents there, they get to start learning some things that will help them to be less controlling. And that's going to be good for you.